Hey, yo, what's up? How you doing? Good morning. All that good stuff. I'm gonna see if I can sit on the edge of this picture frame right here. Talk a little bit about squib art. My art. My paintings. My. Anyway. I do these every once in a while so that I can put some stuff on the YouTube channel, talk about what I'm doing, so hopefully somebody sees it and digs it and is like, holy shit, this dude's got so much work. All of his work's really good and nobody knows he's doing it. I wouldn't say nobody, but it's pretty under the radar what I'm doing. 95% maybe under the radar. Doesn't matter, I love it. I do it anyway. I would do it if I made millions, and I would do it if I'm like I am now, making a little bit here and there, occasionally selling a painting. It's nice. I love it. Exciting times. The work is too good. You can't let it go. You can't stop. It's so much better than a job, which I also have. I work as a nurse, and I love that too, but I can't wait to graduate from being a nurse and not do it again. So anyway, I just posted this one. It is The Vast, I think I called it. That's a nice title, because if you're working in non-dual subject matter, if you're dealing with non-duality as your subject for your art, then you have all different types of names and for things within spiritual understanding and Greek terms. And the vast is the definition of Brahman, which is a great definition. The vast, just boom, it's out there. There's no limits. And I don't want to get into talking about Vedanta because I do that all the time. And but nothing has changed. I have not decided that worldly subject matter is more suitable to me, even though it's inescapable, of course. Yeah, worldly. I guess graffiti is worldly, and that's just fine with me because I use it for the spiritual communication of the spiritual concepts, of spiritual art that hopefully can uplift an individual who explores these paintings, looks at them visually, intently. A lot to look at. There's a lot of detail. There's a lot of largeness. There's vastness. There's, microcosm, macrocosm kind of thing. It's infinite, the vast. Okay, so this painting is about 6.5 feet tall. 5.5 feet tall. 66 inches. And somebody hopefully is going to buy this thing. I have another one that I'm going to show you in a minute across the hall, across the room, which is also done, and it is the partner of this one. It is even bigger than this one. I showed you this in a video, but now it's even closer to finished, so I thought I'd get on here and talk about it. This one is finished. Done. Finito. I started it in January, and it's now August. So that's a pretty decent amount of time I put into it. Not a crazy amount of time, like some painting. I definitely have paintings that are older that are not finished. So this is the vast. It's the smaller of the two. Okay, so now we'll turn it around and go over here. Take a look at the big joint, which is what? Titled what? It is titled the three gunas. Again, so that's some other spiritual terminology or philosophical terminology of Indian philosophy. So the three gunas, we know this has to do with Maya, you know, and the goal in real spirituality is to transcend the three gunas. But while you are still in dealing with, you know, yourself and your three gunas, because everybody has parts, or everyone is made up of the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. Sattva is spiritual, high. Rajas is like worldly, ambitious, activity, go-getter, and tamas is just laziness and stupidity and all the negative, unproductive, unspiritual. So that's what we have here. And this one is way more busy than the last one, obviously. I think I like each one for being different. This one is much more intense, much more busy, a lot more lines, a lot more colors. Well, I don't know, they both have sort of an infinite amount of colors. Not infinite, but infinite possible amount of colors in terms of, you know, every color is represented in some way or another. And then it's all just a play between them and what stands out. Obviously, to me, it seems like pink stands out here, and then maybe some blue. You got greens in there. I got everything. But here it is. This is the other one. I really hope this one is the one that my potential buyer chooses, because it's bigger. It's got a big house, and this one would just be so incredible on a gigantic wall down in Houston, Texas. I hope he invites a lot of people over to see it. And if not the other one, the smaller one, that's a beauty, perhaps more aesthetically pleasing, more smooth visual experience than this one, which is, like I said, very intense. There's a lot to look at in this. All right, so now, I don't know how long I want this video to be. I was hoping maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So let me throw on a few more paintings that I'm working on, give you a little bit more of a kind of in-depth situational understanding, which is what we all strive for. All right. I'm going to move the wall. I'm going to move to a different wall. That's what I mean to say. I probably should have used the other one first, but I don't care. I'm happy with it. Meaning happy with going with this painting instead of the other one, because I'll get to that later. All right. Okay. Now, this here, I like quite a bit. Got this, what do they call it? A diptych. It is a diptych. Can we see the top? No. So I need to raise this up a little. No problem. I hope. Hope it's not a problem. Yeah, perfect, perfect. As long as we can keep this thing balanced without falling over my little mini tripod here. All right, I'm ready to start. You ready to start? What are you talking about? So we're here in the morning in my studio in the Bronx. The sun is coming from directly behind the camera, and so it's washing out a lot of the color because it's very light painting, but I think you can see it well enough. The next one, the partner to this, is a bit darker in color, so, or tone or value, and I don't know what to say. Maybe I should have hung them together. That's probably what I should have done. Let's bring the other one out here. They are, I don't know, what's the dimensions on these. I don't know, 4 feet by 3 feet-ish, in that range. Yeah, I certainly should have put them next to each other on a wall. However, these two big-ass paintings are on the walls, and I don't feel like, they're not, one of them's not on the walls, the bigger one is on these crates, but all the same, I don't feel like moving it, because it's big and it's heavy. So this one here, basically more of the same. Graffiti meets spirituality meets abstract painting meets psychedelia. Those are pretty 4 heavy elements. Why psychedelia? Because psychedelics sort of give you the opportunity to have a spiritual experience, or what seems like a spiritual experience. So that's why they're so, in my work, and also because I've worked in hallucinogens, I've put my time in and studied hallucinogens, and I did it trying to find spiritual knowledge. Foolishly, I was hoping to gain something that I could take back with me into my life that would make my life better, that would give me the answers to the questions of life, and why, and what the hell, and all the things you want to know about life. Or why? That's the deepest question in even in an established system of philosophy that dates back to 5000 BC, or could be older. Okay, so there's pure consciousness, which is basically you. God, if you will, if you choose to call it that. You can assign a personal role to the ultimate reality, call it Ishvara, the God of religion, so on and so forth. But I am a Advaitin, and I generally kind of deal in the knowledge side, which is not about deities and Ishvara, but we don't ignore those. We love those as well. And we give much credit to those who only, practice a devotional faith. And they're not concerned about the Upanishads or the Bhagavad Gita. They're like, that's fine, it's a bunch of philosophy, but I love Krishna, or I love Rama, or I love, you name it, Avatara, like we do. Ramakrishna. I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but Vedanta. But here we are. What the heck does this have to do with any of that? Anyway, it does. Obviously, I said one time I never get tired of the Om symbol. Maybe I am. It's getting a little too obvious, because I still am dealing in the world. I'm not just dealing in a spiritual realm or a spiritual audience of people that look at my work. So, the Om is timeless. There's no apologies for the Om. Some new agey and blah, 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 blah. Whatever the heck they're going to say, I say I don't care. It represents the ultimate reality. And there's nothing but the ultimate reality, and that's what you are. Money grip. All right, so let's put the other one up. These two are pretty well progressed, and you see the Joni head. Obviously, there was more Joni heads involved in this one. There seemed to be an overlay of the other one, perhaps 3 different Joni heads, and that's how things go with me. Like, painting is so fantastic, and just art in general, that you can, and painters know this, like if you've worked in, I don't know, different painters have different approaches, obviously, but say you did a line drawing on a canvas, sort of like a coloring page in a coloring book, and you decide where the paint goes, what colors go where, what values go where, what textures, what opacities, what transparencies go where, and that is what you work. Those are the elements that you play with within the structured lines. And of course, the structured lines, you don't need to stay right within them. You want to make a change, go ahead and make a change. Go outside the line, come back in. Take that line, connect it over here. So that's what happens in these paintings. And it's really I'm going to show you some other small ones next that really, I don't know. I don't know how to say it, because it's like you do things for a while and then you go to a different focus. It's always the same for me. Work is always the same, but it manifests differently. Like, these are certainly different than what I was doing in 2022, which was really cool as well, but this is very different and very similar too. A lot of similarities, a lot of differences. So that's what's cool. All right, so these are the two that go together. I think they're going to be slamming when they're finished. They do have a bit of work. Oh yeah, one more thing I'll point out is this. Okay, so the head. We love the head. It represents the jiva, the individual sentient being, the spiritual seeker trying to shed his ignorance, trying to go beyond his ignorance, trying to dispel his ignorance with knowledge. And knowledge is not just something you read. You really gotta get it. Like, get it beyond a mental level, like on a realizational level. So it needs to be, it's not just, it is your mind, because your mind is what reaches, attains moksha. Because your Atman, the real you, the ultimate reality is ever free. You don't need to worry about anything in the world, in your daily life. You don't need to get too happy about things. You don't need to get too unhappy, because none of that stuff sticks to the real you. It just comes and goes like waves in the ocean. You're the ocean. The waves come and go. The ocean stays. So, be the thoughts, be they, things you do in life, things that happen seemingly to you. Anyway, so the jiva is the head. Now I have this four-headed circular design, which is becoming repeated in my work, and I don't know, what does it mean? It's four heads, four jivas. It's just magnified, just showing more of the purnam, which is the completeness, the total fullness of existence. Everything's in it, or appears to be in it. There's only one thing. So I guess Purnam, once you reach the completeness, there are no more things. Anyway, so these are they. I wanted to point out this. And it's got nice, kind of got like a moon. See, this started out as like a head, and it did have actually a moon, and this was the water inside the head, but then I changed it to the Joni, to the head, and that's where it went. All right, so now let me show you some smaller ones real quick. These will get to the point of... right about here. To the point of like my art, my painting more as a painting of exercise of painting, It's more about color and line. That's like really what it's about. Whereas the other one is like those things stand in, or they are part of the experience, not the main gist of the experience. And it never will be the main gist. It will always be Brahman. You can't escape that, because there's nothing but Brahman. Everything that you see, all art, poetry, writing, movies, any other music, name it, it's Brahman, because Brahman is consciousness. Nothing happens outside of consciousness. Can anything happen outside of your awareness? Are you sure? Nothing happens outside of awareness. So therefore, awareness is always there. And like I was saying before, things, situations, they come and go. They come and they go. And you are what is. You are what is unchanging. Unchanging. Think of that. Unchanging. We don't even know anything that's unchanging. Some things seem unchanging, but we know they're actually changing. Even a mountain is going to, one day not be there. It will be gone. The planet could be gone. I'm going to move this up a little. The whole universe could be gone. And it will be in the next yuga. But that's mythology again. But so these are the ones. So I actually had it started out the other way, this way, with the faces facing outwards, and the centered face, the forward-looking face, obviously going to stay in the middle. I'm not sure which one I like better. This is the way I created it. I worked on it. And what I did first was I made the heads. There were 3 heads, and there was maybe 3 colors, like a background, outline, and the color inside, which was this light purple here, this pink color here, and I think this one was maybe had this blue. The same blue. This blue is here. This blue is here. This purple is here. They all share the same colors. Hopefully not so plainly as some graphic image. 3 colors. Boom, boom, boom. There's a mix. Obviously, you can see and then what I did is I took this black lettering, one-shot lettering enamel, and I just dripped it. You can see this black going. It's been covered a little bit by some of the spray and some brushwork. But that black with the dots and the drips and the beads, what do they call them? Like a little stream of Pollock-like lines that are created by drip and moving the drip. So that's what I was saying. Having fun with some. I got one more show after this, so I better hustle. To show. I don't know what I was just saying, but the black, the layers, the looseness, the painterliness. Yes, going back to when I was talking about if you put a pencil line, image, coloring book image, and you started painting it, and all the different ways that you can fill out these little canvases and make them related to each other or not related to each other. These are very related to each other. And also these have Vedantic themes. So this is like the universe with the stars and the moon. There was a bunch of stuff there. So this is like like the universe. I don't know if that's so spiritual, but that's because we think of the universe as this real thing out there in space and stars and planets and everything else. This one was a metaphor for water because you have these drips. You see little waves in the orange, and so water is always a metaphor for you, for spirit, for God, you, consciousness. That's whatever you choose to call it. And this one, another similar story. I have these cute little clay pots and vessels on this board table-like thing in this guy's head, and basically the concept there is that pot. What is a pot? What is a bowl? What is a pitcher? They are names and forms. When the reality behind those names and forms is clay. So you can say that it's a pot, but it's truly only clay. And I'm trying to get across this very clear way of explaining it that Swami had, and I can't really remember right now, but the clay and the it's not like the clay is in the pot, like inside the compartment that the pot has made known. The pot is from the clay. The pot is nothing without the clay. So that's the point. There is no pot. There's only the clay. It can be formed. The only difference is name and form. And then we go into space. Like the space is everywhere. Space is uninterrupted. If you put a box, there's space in the box, but that space, you think it's divided and separate from the space outside the box, but it's not. If you pick up the box and carry it, does the space stay where the box was? Or does the space travel with the box? It travels with the box because the box is space, you know? It's like, anyway, like the vessel, the name and form, it's you're a name and form, human being, you know? So anyway, these are going to be fun. Fluorescent, stencilage, layering, randomness, kind of an angsty, jubilant, kind of percolating color line experience. All right, let's get to the last one here, because this one might be my favorite that I've done lately. And, you know, this is a classic right here. I guess I'm done painting on it, I'm pretty sure. Unless I really feel like getting detailed, but I generally don't, you know? Like, I'm not into perfection. Like, literally, like, people say, it's a cop-out, you know, you could, and people would like your work more if you were more perfect or more you know, technically concerned. But that's whatever. So here is this one. I don't have any kind of idea of a name for this. I don't know. I'm starting to think that this light is just too bright. But I mean, hey, yeah, there's a wicked reflection on this. Why? Because it's painted on a metal sign, first of all, and there's like literally like a reflective surface on it, like, you know, it's just a sign that I picked up somewhere. And now, you know, I don't even know how this all began. You know what? It began with a tag. I did a tag on this sign, and what I was going to do was going to embellish, decorate, you know, make it look all lines and jeweled and different and elaborate and multi. But then I moved on and I started laying stencils down, and I realized the tag wasn't going to live anymore. It's under here. It was in this original purple color. There's the little corner. It was sort of like this. There was the end of the first letter, and just kept going and going until I came to this. I think this really works. I mean, I don't know what else to say about this. This really represents what I'm trying to represent, which is a visual, abstract art, graffiti, painting, all kinds of painting, using these things to share whatever limited spiritual insight that I might have and can make a painting about. So that's where I am. This is like I said, I haven't come up with a title yet. But anyway, thanks for coming, checking out this video. Like and subscribe, tell your friends. Your rich, wealthy friends. No, just kidding. Anyway, peace out, yo. See ya.